Nottingham Forest have revealed that their trust and confidence in the Premier League has been harmed after they were slapped with a 4-point deduction. Nuno Espirito Santos' side dropped into the bottom three after being docked 4 points for breaking Premier League financial rules.
Prior to their deduction, Forest was 17th with 25 points from 29 games. Dropping down to 21 points has now seen them fall below Luton into 18th. Premier League rules stipulate that a club cannot lose more than £105 million in 3 seasons.
Forest have been measured against Premier League and EFL regulations, having been promoted to the top flight in 2022. Read more in FOOTBALLFIGHT for survival. How race for Premier League safety looks after Forest points deduction. Game on. Best free bets. Best betting offers in the UK, March 2024. In the Championship, clubs are not allowed to lose more than £61 million a year, and they were £34.
5 metres above the threshold. Responding to their points deduction, Forest revealed their disappointment at the tone and content of the Premier League's submission to the Commission. They claimed that today's news was unexpected after months of engagement and exceptional cooperation with the Premier League.
Forest believe that the financial rules in question could undermine the integrity and competitiveness of the top flight. Most read in football. NOTT good news. Forest hit by points deduction for financial breach. Drop into bottom 3. Tragic death. Tragedy is footballer found dead hours after playing in top flight. Clash. Footy shock. Horror moment. Footballer has seizure in match as pregnant wife watches on bar. Humbug. Chelsea flop attempts spinning high kick as team assaulted by pitch invaders. Forest have signed 42 players since being promoted back to the Premier League.
In this time they have broken their transfer record 3 times, on Taiwo Awoniyi, Morgan Gibbs-White and Ibrahim Sangare. Premier League fans reduced to tears by video of Nottingham Forest fan and say you can't buy class in their case against the independent panel. Forest admitted the breach but have argued they only broke the rules for 2 months while filing their accounts between June 30th and September 1st.
They had only received the first instalment of the £47.5 million they are owed by Tottenham from the sale of Brennan Johnson in a deal completed on September 1. Forest could have sold him to Brentford for £30 million and complied with the regulations, but held out for Spurs' bigger bid.
Addressing this transfer, Forest's statement reads, "Even after the club had missed the PSR reporting deadline, it still took steps to ensure Brennan Johnson was sold before the end of the transfer window. That was a clear demonstration of our respect and support for PSR. Forest have 2 weeks to launch an appeal against their deduction."
The Premier League have penciled in May 24 as a backstop date for any appeal, 5 days after the May 19 final day of the season. Forest's 42 signings since promotion 2022-23: Morgan Gibbs White, Taiwo Awoniyi, Danilo Neco Williams, Emmanuel Dennis, Oral Mangala, Musa Niakate, Julian Bianconi, Lewis O'Brien, Remo Frula, Omar Richards, Jonjo Shelby, Renan Lordi, Chris Wood, Ui Jo Hwang, Willie Bowley, Harry Toffolo, Felipe Josh Bowler, Brandon Aguilera, Jesse Lingard, Gustavo Scarpa, Sheku Kuyate, Andre Ayew, Wayne Hennessy, Adnan Kanyurik, Dean Henderson, Loic Bade, Kaylor Navas, Serge Aurier 2023-24, Ibrahim Sangare, Anthony Elanga, Andrew Omobamidele, Murilo, Nicolas Dominguez, Matt Turner, Mats Sells, Odysseus Vlachodimos, Callum Hudson, Odoi, Nuno Tavares, Joe Reyna, Ola Aina, Andre Santos, Gonzalo Montiel, Divock Origi, Rodrigo Ribeiro. Forest statement in full: Nottingham Forest is extremely disappointed with the decision of the Commission to impose a sanction on the club of 4 points, to be applied with immediate effect.
Notwithstanding our disappointment, we thank the Commission for agreeing to deal with this matter on an expedited basis. The club considers it to be essential for the integrity of the league to have charges resolved in the season in which they are issued.
We were extremely dismayed by the tone and content of the Premier League's submissions before the Commission. After months of engagement with the Premier League, and exceptional cooperation throughout, this was unexpected and has harmed the trust and confidence we had in the Premier League.
That the Premier League sought a sanction of 8 points as a starting point was utterly disproportionate when compared to the 9 points that their own rules prescribe for insolvency. We were also surprised that the Premier League gave no consideration at all to the unique circumstances of the club and its mitigation.
In circumstances where this approach is followed by future PSR commissions, it would make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for newly promoted clubs without parachute payments to compete, thus undermining the integrity and competitiveness of the Premier League. Whilst the Premier League may have called into question the club's business plan, the club maintains that it responsibly balanced compliance with PSR with important investment into the squad to give us the ability to compete in the league for the first time in over 20 years.
Even after the club had missed the PSR reporting deadline, it still took steps to ensure Brennan Johnson was sold before the end of the transfer window. That was a clear demonstration of our respect and support for PSR. The Commission's decision raises issues of concern for all aspirant clubs.
The player transfer market is a highly specialized trading environment that cannot be compared to the sale of normal products and services. There will be occasions when a player transfer cannot be completed in the first half of a transfer window and can only be completed at the end of that window.
This should not be a reason for the condemnation of a club. For this not to be recognized by the Commission or the Premier League should be a matter of extreme concern for all fans of our national game. Of wider concern for all aspirant clubs is the disturbing effect this decision will have on the operation of the player trading model.
This is the only model by which clubs outside of the small group at the very top end of the Premier League can realistically advance up the football pyramid. The rationale of the Commission is that clubs should only invest after they have realized a profit on their player development.
Read more Sun stories. Puff Times secret smoker Stacey Solomon puffs on a cigarette on day out with Joe Swasher. Too big to fly. We were kicked off flight for being too big, told to book 2 seats. This reasoning destroys mobility in the football pyramid, and the effect of the decision will be to drastically reduce the room for maneuver for all such clubs, leading to the stagnation of our national game. We believe that the high levels of cooperation the club has shown during this process, and which are confirmed and recorded in the Commission's decision, were not reciprocated by the Premier League.